Scott, what's the case of Damien's selection on the bench and Bowden to start? Is it a case of Damien being dropped, or is it something else?
That's an opening question. No, we're always planning to get Bowden to go. You have to, like he's played and started every game till now. He showed some great form, and we've got to give guys opportunities and build depth in our team. And it's a nice chance for Bowden to play outside TJ. They've got a combination. They've played a lot of games together, and they've played a lot of games together at the Cape Town, so it lines up nicely.
And TJ comes in for Cortez. The reasoning there?
Always playing good footy. You know, they can mix and match. When he started, he's been great. When he's come off the bench, he's played well as well, and you got a great 9-10 combo.
When you think about things like, winless streak and winless run in Wellington, last home test of the year, last rugby championship test, how important is a statement performance this weekend?
Oh, it's really important. It's something we've addressed, something we're really well aware of. Like the rest of the New Zealand public, it's a record that we're not proud of, and the way you deal with records is by performances. So that's been our main focus this week. Good performance and something that the crowd can be proud of, and New Zealanders. Yeah.
Scott, how much does the struggles with the bench, the finishing final quarters, and all that become almost a self-fulfilling prophecy? In other words, kind of the guys feel the pressure and maybe you're a bit anxious. I mean, you're obviously looking hard at it, but not finding the answers.
Yeah, there's a few things that come along with it. That we've looked at around the accuracy and the discipline and the experience of the group that are coming on, and then at the end of the day, you just focus what do you need to do, what is it going to look like, so when you put it into action and how you execute. So focus on solutions around it, and we train it and get on with it.
Is that the main reasoning behind Patrick's inclusion back on the bench, or was it just a case of him being fit again?
Always fit. It's good to have him in. 45 tests. Experienced, just what you need, and Wildell Fox to come on and has experienced coming off the bench, starting, been in different environments. So he's a wee cuddle for us. People trust him, and he's just what we need.
There's been a direct correlation between now that we've had enough tests this year, between the amount of yellow cards getting given out and the sort of lack of scoring at the back end. Do you see that as something that's linked, and how much work is going on to fix that? Yeah,
well, obviously they are linked. When you get a yellow card, you're going to give 6 points away on average, and like we're warned there's a little offside there, and then you've got a tap ball in the air, and the guys owned it. It's something that's a little bit of individual, and also as a group, and we've got to be better than that, and that's what we're focused on.
What's been your message to Damien, and what are you expecting from him in that bench role?
Oh, he's had a great season to date. There's areas of his game he can get better and come on and be DMAC. He can play. He's created a lot for us. He's one of the highest line breakers in the comp. He can wave a wand and take a gap. So, and also come on and game manage what we need to do to finish the match.
What does Billy Popkin need to do to get a run in this game?
Well, this week, obviously, just because of 12 cover with Dave, we looked heavily at, Billy. We want him to play. We just felt that the fact that he hasn't played 12, no one has played 12, and with Geordie being out, Dave's accustomed to that position. Rico's definitely not going to be going into 12, or Billy hasn't played there enough, so we just felt with the mix of this back line, it's a hard call on Billy. Look, we'd love to have got him out in front of the home fans, but we just feel like this is the best thing for the All Blacks, so he won't be far away, Billy. Yeah.
You mentioned Rico won't be shifting into 12. A lot of fans on social media would love to see him on the wing, but you've stuck with him at 13. What have you liked about Rico at outside centre this year?
Oh, he's playing good footy. He's distributing. He's carried. He's made some great decisions. He's been a really good leader for us. We think he's grown his game, and look, he responded once we asked him to, and his performances have matched what we've asked, and look, he's done good.
Can you speak on TJ? It's potentially it is going to be his last test at home. Can you just speak on what he means to this team?
Look, TJ's he's a character. He's got a hell of a personality, which you need in any sport. Hugely proud of his culture. He's someone that speaks what he thinks, and great All Black. He's performed for a long period of time. He's come back from injuries. The fortitude that he's shown over the period of time, you've got to give it to him. He fights back. He's AB tough. He's a competitor and a winner. So it's great that I could be a part of his career and see how much it means to him as an All Black and how much he's given to this team.
Wayne Smith's also been in camp. Has he been working more with the coaches, with the players? What camp?
Just observing. He's been in and around. He's been sending a few messages as he does. He loves a review on Sunday morning. And that's great, just little observations. He's been there, he's done it. As he mentioned the other night, he's had the job a couple of times, he knows the enormity of the job and just a little bit of guidance and advice, and he's just observed and does what we've done well and made some suggestions as well.
Razor, I know it's early in the World Cup cycle, so it's not really about results and just getting to that goal, but as a serial winner at the Crusaders, the All Blacks have coughed up the Rugby Championship pretty early. Like, that's a trophy you won the last 3 times. Does that hurt, or you're just focused on the main game?
I think part of the All Blacks is winning. You're winning and develop. You don't develop and win. And which I've said before. Of course, it hurts you that you haven't continued that part of the legacy on. Like we've all owned that we can be better in different areas, but we've also focused on what we're doing really well. We made a lot of line breaks. Most of any team we've focused on areas that we can get better to finish teams. We had opportunities to win every game and we haven't. So there's some key parts of growing some players there to come through. Got a lot of fresh faces. I think it's 7 or 8 debutants and a lot of guys that are coming on into the game at key times and how we can be better. So there's a bit of a story to the whole point of it, but we'd love to have had the Rugby Championship and the Bledisloe.
Scott, just final one for me on a different tack. As All Blacks coach, would you like to play a test on Anzac Day, or are you happy to keep that for later, tests for later in Super Rugby?
In the middle of Super Rugby?
Yeah.
I think talk to Super Rugby first and see what they think about taking the All Blacks out of that, and then we'll talk.
Scott, is Ethan Blackadder injured? He's not listed as injured, but did you consider
He could have, but with the history of Ethan, we've made a call. We think it's best for him to have another week. He's either 0 or 100 and something, and we just felt for the longevity of this season for him. He's got a few more games ahead of him or us, and we believe that one more week's going to make a massive difference, and might get a little bit of time for his beloved Tasman.
And just on Mark Talia, you said a year ago he was the number 1 wing in the All Blacks. Now you can't get a look. And what do you need to see from him, or what aren't you seeing from him?
Tough calls with the wingers. Obviously Caleb's played some good footy. The opportunities of the balance of it, it's just the way it's fallen, just with the other wings and the combinations. But look, he's been training hard. He's given everything he can to be selected, and it's just a call we've made. But we know how good he is, and he'll get another crack.
Razor, can you tell us about Sam King?
Yeah.
Obviously a huge day for him. Look, he's a guy that's been picked by multiple All Black coaches who really loved and admired what he offers, but he's not always been respected, I suppose, or loved by the public as much.
Yeah.
Do you have any theories, why that is?
Oh, look, he's one of those guys you've got to get to know. I think from afar you've got an opinion, but when you actually see him and meet him and what he is and around the environment, he'll say things what others won't. And I don't say that lightly. Like he and I mentioned early on, he's a bit of a sheriff. He's got in the holster and he'll fire and say, no, this is how it is, and I'm going to call you out, or this is the All Black standard. And his ability to do it week after week in a tough position. He's broken his neck. He's bounced back. He's consistent on the field, but I think the leadership part for me is something I really respect. He's been great for us in our environment, and he's performed more importantly. And it's great that we can give him 100 off the back of playing well and what he's done over his 10-odd year career.
Do you think there's some element while he wears number 7 He's actually transformed more into playing like a number 6, and he's being judged as a 7, but in fact he's playing in a different role.
I haven't looked at it that way, Gregor, but you could. He knows his way around the field. He's got a good GPS on him. He turns up in the right positions. You saw him get that hard ball on the ground last week against Aussie. He anticipates the game really well, but he reads it, and that's what we need around that leadership. That's a big thing I've learnt this year for us. That our leaders in every role that they play, and he's been great for us.
How delighted are you that Leicester's going to be coming back to New Zealand, and how much of an influence did you have in that? Did you speak to him about kind of come back to New Zealand?
Yep, I had conversations with Leicester along the whole way. He's obviously going to come back and have a family back in New Zealand. That contributed to the decision. He's enjoyed his time on the French Riviera, and he's he wants to come back and wear the black jersey. I'm pleased. It's good to get one come back that other way. My job is to create competition and depth in all positions, and for the All Blacks to pick the best team. And when Leicester's on his day, and he can play.
Fraser, can I ask about Tupou Vaa'i?
Yeah.
This will be his 7th test start in a row.
Yep.
He also was off the bench the first 2, so he hasn't had a break. How do you balance his exceptional form with also making sure that you don't overdo it with him?
He is a pro. He is as good as a pro as anyone. First in the pool in the cold plunge in the morning. He's does his homework. He's smart. He's diligent, and he bounces back on a Tuesday and trains really well. So his recovery is right up there. And we just want to keep him rolling. I think it's the biggest thing. He's found a spot. It was a little one of those forced decision selections because of Patrick, and then he's owned it, and then he starts selecting himself. Really, he's been that good.
Scott, you mentioned before about the line breaks, and
if
a few more passes stick in Sydney, you probably could have blown out the Wallabies. They didn't. It's been a wee bit of a common theme. How far off do you think those are from sticking and from clicking?
Yeah, look, there's two things talking about it, and there's been so many small margins and gains and calls from adjudication and, different moments and games that change momentum, and we've got to be better staying at the game. We've got to put their ball on the chest. We've got to have the courage to throw it, but execute it. So we've been, first thing is acknowledge it. That's the first thing about learning, and then in doing it over and over, and trust your skill. Give it at the right time, and that's how you turn it. You turn the tide on it.
Do you feel like you are close to clicking?
Yeah, look, we could have won every test match. We could have had all along the way. Yeah, we do, you look back, and one thing we have learned of this test series, and I don't want to get sentimental, it's only early in the piece, but every moment in every test match has just had little parts of it. We've done something different there, a little call or adjudication call gone the other way could have been different, but we still got to own it, and the conversations have been way deeper probably if we hadn't. But now focus goes to the test in front of us.
What areas would Mackenzie have to do to improve and to get a starting place in the Northern?
Who's that, sorry?
Damian Mackenzie.
We just started the last 8. Well, yeah. Sorry, what else does he have to do?
Yeah, what areas would have to improve on to be sure of starting?
I think continue his current form. Obviously, he's kicking off the tee really, really well. He kicked for touch incredibly well. He's been more consistent with his kicking. He's gone the team round, and like I said, he's created a lot of opportunities. Now we just got to finish it, and he's a part of it. What
do you want to see from Bowden on the weekend?
I want to see Bowden Barrett, 131 tests at his best. He's a great conductor. He'll get you around the field. Obviously that boots, been impeccable his own career and just go and own his opportunity, put a bit of heat on us to make sure that we've got 2 world-class 10s.
Razor, the Wallabies have dropped down to 10th on the world rankings, but what do you expect from them this weekend?
Ferocious start. It's pretty clear that that's one area they can get better at, and probably more of the same. More plays that we've obviously got done on that first play, which we game 1 there, that little special. So we're going to make sure we stay on. Give them less of those freebies, but expect a real passionate Wallaby side. that Bobby can sniff it, and yeah, they'll be dangerous.
Rosie, you talk about the Lucy's, competition. We've got Jacobson and obviously Papali'i. How tight was that to call for the bench?
It's always tight. Luke's been really, really good. You make a call, and sometimes you back it, and some guys take that opportunity, and there's small margins in those calls, and obviously we want to keep a consistency as much as we could. So especially around that 4-pack, they played together in the last 2-3 weeks. That's one area, the consistency of his selections, and Luke came on and made a great impact. So that's what we've gone for before, but there's not much in it.